I'm finally here. Just you wait, Lily Lucium. You'll soon discover that you can't evade death forever.
Do not proceed.
Excuse me? Do you have any idea who you're speaking to?
Your attempts will be unsuccessful. Look, that house is branded with the Star of Ishtar. Its inhabitants are protected.
Okay, so what are you all standing around for? You having a cloaked barbecue out here or something?
The Queen of Babylon is to be observed until the day of reckoning. So far, her behavior has been amusing. She seems to transform into some kind of demon every night. This is clearly a sign of—
Yeah, I don't really care. Even if Mesopotamian deities are protecting her, I know one in particular that's willing to break the rules for a little incentive.
Why, hello there, new friend.
What the?
I've been watching you on the computer and decided you would be the perfect friend to hang out with for eternity.
Nurgle, I know you. You're the king of the underworld, Ereshkigal's husband.
Oh, don't even mention her around me. I have a new lover now. Isn't she beautiful? And I don't live in the underworld anymore. I live in the center of the earth.
You and Ereshkigal had a falling out.
Never mind that. As you are my new friend, I demand we do friendly things together, such as play a few games. In fact, there's one computer game that I always like to force my new friends to play. It's always so much fun.
Somehow I have a feeling it won't be. Ugh, Nurgle. We gods had an agreement. But it looks like the promise of a new friend was just too tempting for him. Thankfully, I know just the person who can put an end to all this. Sometimes it really pays off to have a few friends down below. Okay, it looks like Nurgle's distracted by the many other friends he's encountered in the house, so I guess we'll check out the game he suggested. I gotta make another review today anyway, so let's check it out. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy has always been one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows. With its very dark and unconventional humor, it was a stark contrast to most other cartoons you would come across. It was created by Maxwell Adams and follows two kids named Billy and Mandy who become BFFs with the Grim Reaper. He's contractually obligated. They go on many outrageous adventures with all sorts of supernatural elements involved. Part of the reason I loved this show so much was because of the Grim Reaper character, a figure I was fascinated with as a kid. Between Crystal Maze, this show, The Sims, Conquer, and so on, the Reaper was inescapable in 2000s media. It was probably the first horror character I found myself enthralled by. I even wrote a story about him for a class once. I'm not entirely sure why this character was such a big sensation in the 2000s, but he was always nice to see around. Seeing him was always like meeting an old friend in an unexpected place. And Billy and Mandy is often considered one of the greatest shows to ever air on Cartoon Network, and still has a massive following today. As can be expected, it had a lot of different adaptations, including a video game that I used to play way too much. But it also had a ton of Flash games on Cartoon Network's website. This one is called Harem Scarum, which shares a name with one of those really weird Elvis movies that he made during that strange era of his life. Look, I have a father who was really obsessed with him. I've unfortunately seen them all. So in the story, the villain Jack-O-Lantern has taken over the city with his pumpkin army. Now it's up to Billy and Mandy to save the Halloween season. The game was developed by This Is Pop, a company we have a very long and tumultuous history with on this channel. They made a lot of Flash games that people often associate their childhoods with, but quality has varied from one to another. Sometimes they put out absolute masterpieces, then other times they just give us games where you jump on buildings the whole time. They might be the most polarizing company we've covered here, but I still have a lot of good memories with them. So let's see what they cooked up for us. The controls are easy to understand, but there are 6 different items you need to remember. Make sure you're well associated with them, because you'll have to know which ones to keep and which ones to avoid. More on that later. We can switch between Billy and Mandy as we jump across platforms and battle evil pumpkins. We get items through crates, which we can then use to attack. Billy and Mandy have separate items, so we can switch between them as we need one. If you get a good one, try not to touch any more crates, or else you'll lose it. As we can see, we're starting with a scythe and a banana peel. The scythe is a melee weapon, but it's pretty okay. The banana peel will make an enemy slip off the screen, but most of the early enemies we encounter are flying. It barely hurts them, so it isn't worth using using just yet. It can be extremely handy later on, but it's also worth mentioning that the banana peel doesn't increase your score. I guess the developers thought it was too overpowered. But the toilet paper is absolutely useless. Replace it as soon as you get it. It's a projectile, and it goes in an arch that barely ever hits its mark. Now, the glue is awesome. It freezes enemies, so you can just walk by and not be hurt by them. It's one of the handiest weapons to get, but you might want to replace it before a boss fight. There's usually a crate right there anyway. And then there's the egg, which is weak and almost as useless as the toilet paper. Probably even more useless, actually. But then there's the dynamite, and for the love of Ishtar and Marduk, do not get rid of the dynamite. It is an extremely powerful weapon and will nearly destroy anything it hits. Either Billy or Mandy should have dynamite on hand at all times, and I know that's a very scary sentence considering the nature of the show, but it's true. It will seriously save your life during the boss fights too. And speaking of those, there's a boss fight at the end of every third stage. Each level has 3 different sections to get through. This first one is a giant pumpkin that walks around, but there's a health kit behind it. Bear in mind though that whenever you die, you go back to the very beginning of a section. Some of them can get pretty difficult, so it seems like a harsh punishment. But just you wait, it'll get even harsher. So if you're willing to take a little damage, you can sprint by the first boss to grab the health. It's worth it because it'll buy you enough time to finish the fight. Ideally, sometimes the boss's projectiles hit me even when I'm sure I'm far enough away. It's really fast and you have to be on top of your game. Then when we beat it, we move on to the graveyard and, yeah, that's a glitch. Sometimes the game will start while you're still at the loading screen. You really just have to endure as best as you can whenever this happens. Sometimes it goes on for a really long time though. This may be a result of the game being old, but it still disrupts the experience if you play this today. Be wary. I guess Mandy smiling was enough to disrupt the flow of the universe. The music here is really catchy though. And I found that a dynamite glue combination is pretty good for surviving most stages. Then you just spam the dynamite whenever you reach the boss. You have to take it slow with some enemies though. Stand back and make sure you have a good shot on them before making your move. Sometimes you really have to work at it before you can hit it at just the right angle. These bouncing enemies are tough to kill, but glue or a banana peel will deal with them right away. Or dynamite if you can hit them with it. The game is generous with how many crates of health it gives you, so your biggest concern might be falling over the edge, which is an instant kill. Again, the punishment's a little harsh. And I know these bridges are perfectly safe, but they still make me feel a little nervous whenever I have to cross them. I feel like a stick of dynamite will be enough to blow them up. And as you might expect, the enemies get tougher as you go along. These crab guys are the absolute worst. They come charging at you and take a few hits to go down. Use glue or dynamite for the best results. And it's another boss fight. And we're dead again. Now we have to hope we reach the boss with enough health to manage it. Again, the game is generous with health crates, but the boss is still a real pain. It's the same deal as the first one, but I somehow feel this one has even better aim. It's a lot harder to avoid. But once it's dead, we move on to the pumpkin patch. This is the final segment of the game. It has a lot more crevices to jump over, so you have to be extremely careful. It would really suck to fall and have to do all this all over again. Sometimes you have to make educated decisions about which ledge would be preferable to jump on. Every move counts, so make sure you're doing everything deliberately. Don't rush into anything or you will seriously regret it. Save as much health as you can and carefully make your way to the end. Patience is key. Especially in sections like this where you just have to wait for the crab enemy to come close enough to hit it. Just keep doing that before making the jump. And these eye-patched enemies are the worst ones yet. They're really fast and eager to mess you up. But again, your number one concern is going to be the jumps you have to make. Oh, we died. Guess it's back to the start of the level, huh? Right? 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 Oh no. No, no, no. This game only gives you 3 lives, then it's back to the very beginning of the first stage. Okay, that's a little brutal for how difficult this game can be. I don't really have the motivation to go through all that again, especially the last few stages where everything has to be done deliberately. This is Pop. Does the punishment really fit the crime? Ugh. Well, I guess I'll give it another go, but I need to take a break first. Hang on a second.
I can't believe you stupid little fiendish—
Darling, please, I can explain everything.
What in the name of Gilgamesh is going on in here?
You freak! We had an agreement, and here you are bothering our chosen one. You're always up to things like this, and you're ruining the good name of us— Oh, Luci! I thought you were upstairs.
Yeah, well, you're making quite a racket down here. It's hard to ignore.
Now do you understand why I didn't want to talk about my ex-wife before? She's out of her mind.
Wait, you're Ereshkigal? But if you're here, who's watching the underworld?
Hello, please form a single file line in front of my giant throne, thank you.
Wait, didn't you kill Inanna in one of your myths? I'm not so sure I should like you.
That's just how we ancient deities are, my dear. Killing each other in one myth and best friends in another. Don't try to read too deeply into it. It's not worth it.
Okay, I'm just gonna head back upstairs. You try to work things out, okay? I don't want to meddle in godly affairs.
But wait.
You stupid little—
Ah!
So getting back to the game, I'm a lot more cautious on my second time around. Losing a single life may be reason to start the game over. You're really going to need those in the final stages. Banana peels and dynamite will be your best friends. Or glue if you can get it. That helps a bunch too. By now, I don't even care about my score. The banana peels will help me get back to where I was, so I have no shame in using them. Though I realized something else. You don't get any points for killing the crab or the eye patch pumpkins. Why? Those are the hardest ones to kill. You can shamelessly banana peel them. I'll never understand this is Pop's logic. And oops, I lost one life before the pumpkin patch. That's going to come back to bite me later, so I have to be careful. And now we've reached the final stretch onto Jack-o'-lantern himself. The road is dangerous with many enemies attacking you along the way, but you must endure to reach the toughest fight of your life. The music really sets the tone. Now Jack is different from the other bosses. He's up on a ledge, so you have to strike him from below. You can often avoid his fireballs if you stand right here, but then he sends a myriad of enemies at you. You only have one chance to refill your health, so get ready to endure as best as you can. It can almost seem impossible at times. Some of these enemies are way too overpowered, and they can even follow you on this little foothold. You will be absolutely demolished, so make sure you have more than one life. Look, we died, but that's okay. We have one life left. We can just head over and— Seriously? This is Pop? I have some very strong things to say to you right now. Okay, I am definitely taking another break before I try this again. Let's go see how the ancient deities are faring downstairs.
And she didn't even laugh. Could you believe that? I'm rather hilarious if I do say so myself.
What's going on in here?
We summoned Pazuzu to give us some counseling.
They told me Lamashtu would be here. I've been deceived.
What's going on in here?
Oh, 3 ancient deities are having a therapy session in the middle of our kitchen.
So nothing out of the ordinary?
Nope, just a regular day over here. So you go through the whole game all over again, restarting whenever you die and getting really used to everything that comes your way. It's one of those games where you actually feel like you're getting worse as you go along. You feel discouraged when you have to start all over again, so you don't give it as much effort as you may have given it before. But anyway, we're finally back, so are you serious? Fine. This is what the victory screen looks like. Hooray, the world is saved. I'm done with this. So, what do we think about this game? Well, to be honest, it isn't that bad, but it is extremely difficult. In a way, it makes you feel more accomplished when you actually do beat it, but you have to be willing to go through it all in order to reach that goal. I also feel like there should have been more incentive to use certain weapons. If you get a dynamite glue combination, you're pretty much set for the entire game. It can be fun to try different things out though. If you like challenging games, this might be up your alley. I'm not a big fan of them, but I force myself to play them anyway. And sometimes Mesopotamian gods force me to do it. You know, that's just how it is. So again, this game isn't bad, but make sure you're ready for a real endeavor if you choose to take it on. And anyway, it's getting close to midnight, so I should probably wrap things up before—
That's it. I've had enough.
What's going on now?
I'm done. These two absolutely refuse to be reasoned with.
Please don't go, Pazuzu. Your words are among the kindest I've heard in centuries.
What is going on in here?
Stay out of this, dear. It doesn't concern you.
Aren't I the whole reason this is happening?
Well, you may maybe if someone didn't try to break the contract to try and sell you out to death, we would all be...
Oh, of course. It's always my fault, isn't it?
It is your fault. Maybe if you were such a pathetic little fiend, you wouldn't feel so alone all the time, and maybe you wouldn't feel the need to... What's that?
Oh no.
Would anyone mind telling me what's going on? She's gonna blow!
Well, it's a good thing the transformations never last too long. Sorry about that, everyone.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
Shouldn't you know what just happened? You said you watched Lucy's videos.
Only the ones about SpongeBob Flash games. I ignore all the other ones.
Oh. Same, actually.
I've seen this kind of possession before.
What?
We call them digital demons. They consistently engage with technology and are prone to frustrated outbursts. These aren't ordinary demons, however. These are former humans who endured immense suffering. I'm afraid one of those is in our midst right now.
Ah, yes, I seem to recall those being an issue back in the days of Babylonia.
How would that even work when Babylonians didn't even have computers? Well, Lucico, it looks like they're figuring things out. I think it's best we fall back for the night. I doubt Nurgle here is even capable of doing any further harm. This is all happening so fast, and I think we'll have to further explore this lore in a future Halloween video. So for now, I think we have to end this one. It's gone on for long enough. So be sure to subscribe and like the video, join the Discord server, and follow me on the accounts in the description below. Remember, everything means something to someone. I'm here to give a voice to the obscure. So as always, thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next memory.
What could possibly be taking him so long?
It may be best to abandon this idea. From here on out, we should simply watch and not intervene.
Fine. But just you wait, Lily Lucium. Your soul will find its way to the underworld soon enough. Nobody could ever hope to outsmart death. Nobody.